the ego's survival instinct and awakening. I'm Jason at AwakenedEssence.com. When you understand that everything that is alive, everything that has consciousness, wants to survive, then that will transform how you see your awakening process. You will understand more deeply bad behaviors, bad patterns, why people behave the way they do. You will understand yourself, and it gives you the key to unlock all of these things that you don't want in your life. Behavior patterns, thinking patterns, you name it. People love to get out into nature, which is where I currently am. And the thing with nature is, it's brutal. We come out here and we relax out and it's like, but everything here in this environment is either avoiding being eaten or is eating. Everything. The plants are being eaten by insects, animals, birds. So they develop patterns and survival instincts to stop so many things eating them, because if they taste too good, they'll be gone. And those things that eat the plants in turn get eaten by other insects or birds or mammals, fish. All the fish have something else chasing them that's bigger. It's a matter of eat or be eaten. And this is where we come to relax. Where the raw brutality of nature is that of survive or die. So your consciousness is no different. And if there's something about yourself that you want to improve on, know that it's there for a reason. Come into presence. Be aware of your hands. Feel your feet. Notice the environment as you're looking at the screen or just listening to it. Turn your hands on if you do energetic work. Feeling the space inside. Now, every belief structure you have wants to survive. So, how do you go about undoing that? Every behavior pattern you have literally has its own ego. It wants to survive. As far as that behavior pattern is concerned, even if it's one where you do things like, well, hopefully not anymore, but, violence. It does that for a reason. Usually it's to help preserve you, to keep you alive, the survival instinct. Within itself, it wants to survive, even if it is a bad behavior pattern. These things don't just roll over. You go, I don't like that behavior pattern. Boom, it's gone. This planet would be a truly magical place to live if everybody was like that. But consciousness itself wants to survive. So when you understand this process, you have to honor each thing and give it the space, which is why we practice presence. Which is why we find the stillness, being aware of your hands, the base of your being, where's your breathing, how much space are you aware of right now? Some, none? Are you aware of the aliveness inside of you? Check in. That's all you need to do. It'll deepen as you build up your practice, as you build up those moments of being here, as you build up the choices to actually activate being here. So back to your hands. Feeling the space. So when you start working on something, a behavior pattern or something's happening in your life you need to address, regardless of how enlightened you are, that part of that consciousness is still locked all the way back there. It's over there. Your consciousness and presence may be here, but that's the gap. This part will go through phases as it undoes to come home to you. So that's why we do the inquiry process. That's why we cycle through it, and as you drop into the stillness, as you hold the stillness, it opens this bit up, so it comes home. Everything wants to come home to unity, which is why you're watching this. So as you work through that process, these things open up and realize, hey, my job here is done. I can use the wisdom I learnt, and I can come home to me, the real you, the still you. All of you can come home into unity, and you become a more present, more integrated being. While all these bits are out here, obviously these are parts here that need to come home. And each one of these will feel separate and lost. And it's a process. You get used to this. It takes years, seriously, years. I remember like being in my 3rd year of the abiding phase and working with something that my mentor gave me. Just like, this is nuts. I'm fully connected. And I was walking through town listening to my session that I had, and it's like I could feel obviously my connection, but this part was locked. And it's just like, well, I know I'm here. This part here doesn't know that. And that dance continues. With all the new parts, they always start here. And it's for you to bring yourself into presence and stillness. Being aware of your hands, breathing inside in the space that you are. As you breathe in, take it in. That space allows these, as you focus on them and hold them in the space, gives them permission to be there. Gives them permission to share with you. Why they do what they do. And as you are aware of that consciously, it allows these parts to start realizing, oh, maybe there's a better way. Maybe I could come home to the real you, the bigger part of you, and have more resources. Any cognitive behavioral therapy, NLP, Gestalt, parts integrations, all those sorts of things are really good at working with these splintered aspects. Find out what they want. It's always what you want, the real you, but they're doing it in a way that they think was set up when you had less resources. Then they will come home. Being aware of the beliefs, doing the inquiry process, it undoes them and brings you home. More of you home. So this process continues, always. Been in the abiding place since the end of 2007. Start of 2008, and working through material is still the same process all these years later. Nature tells you things. A fish this big just jumped, and about 5 fish that big jumped at the same time and it made a Metatrons cube, a star, the star thing with the patterns on the water. Being aware of the space. And use that space to bring home stuff, parts of you that want to come home, that have been doing their best to serve you in a way that might not be helping you anymore. So, there you go. This is Jason for AwakenedEssence.com. See you in the next video. Or send us a decent question. I'll do a video on it. Or book a session. Let's come home fast. With clarity, so it's measurable, definable. Being aware of your feet and your hands.